Welcome back to the official review presented by Athlon Sports. Yesterday was the start of NBA free agency. We had a lot of deals happening, so let's just get into it. Sam, what was your favorite deal from yesterday?
So my favorite deal wasn't a free agent signing, but what was most interesting to me was a trade. So Michael Porter Jr. and a 2032 unprotected first-round pick went to the Nets for Cam Johnson. What's interesting is that they're pretty similar profiles of player. They both shoot 39% from three. Johnson's probably a little bit better of a passer than Michael Never Swing the Rock Porter Jr. But Michael Porter Jr. is a better rebounder, probably a little more athletic, and is 2 years younger. Johnson is notably a better defender and fits that mold a lot better, I think, for Denver. And yeah, I think he fits right in next to Jokic. And I think that basically Cam Johnson is like Michael Porter Jr. without some of the intangibles that make Michael Porter Jr. might have a higher ceiling, although he's 27 at this point. Now the Nuggets have a much more reliable role player to plug in next to Jokic. But Steve, what do you think about this?
When I first saw it, I thought it was weird because I was like, if I saw that Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Johnson were traded for each other and a first round pick went one way, I would have thought Cam Johnson would have to be attached to it, but the more I thought about it, the more it makes sense. Porter Jr. gets paid like $16 million more a year than Cam Johnson, so the Nuggets are saving some money. And also, I think the way the Nuggets are built, I'd rather have a role player in that slot than Michael Porter Jr., who, like you said, doesn't really pass. Cam Johnson is someone who knows his role. He's going to do his job, and I think both teams got better because the Nets might need a guy who can just, with more volume. But I think it was a good trade for the Nuggets, and I think it made them a better team in a playoff series.
Yeah, it was time for the Nuggets to move on from Michael Porter Jr. It was clear after the way the season ended last year that they needed to do something to get over the hump. I mean, they were one win away from beating the Thunder, but a lot of it was because the guys beyond Jokic weren't performing. One of those guys was Porter Jr., who was just so inconsistent this playoffs. So getting a guy like Johnson who can be more consistent for your team is going to be huge. And having that third option is going to be a very important development for the Nuggets.
He's also just more of a professional than Michael Porter Jr. is like a little kid. He's a menace. His brother's out here gambling. He doesn't pass the ball. He makes dumb decisions. Cam Johnson is not going to make dumb decisions. He's just going to do what he's told, and that's what the Nuggets need.
Yeah, both notably in the podcast space. Michael Porter Jr. on more of like maybe the manosphere type of spectrum, and then Cam Johnson appears on the JJ Redick's old podcast network, where it's a lot of X and O's and kind of talking about larger cultural issues within the NBA. So kind of different spectrums there as well. On the money that you were mentioning, Steve, both Porter Jr. and Johnson have 2 years left on their contracts, but Johnson makes $34 million less in those 2 years.
Oof.
So Michael Porter Jr. has $79 million left versus Cam Johnson's $44 million. Like you mentioned, they're saving $17 million this season to spread around to others to bring in depth, notably Bruce Brown. Also, going off of that 2032 first-round pick, that's so far in the future that Jokic will be 37 years old. Who knows where he'll be? Maybe he'll just be a full-time horse trainer then. I think I really like this trade for the Nuggets because it fills a hole immediately that was left behind by Michael Porter Jr. with someone more reliable. And I still kind of like the trade for the Nets as well, because they do get this really coveted first-round pick. And then, who knows with Michael Porter Jr. If he can start being able to dribble a little bit, it could be kind of interesting.
He'll drop 50 once and then, be bad the other times. They'll be bad for a couple years. And that 2032 first-round pick, unprotected, that far in the future?
Yeah.
That could be anything. It probably will be a lottery pick, just based on where they are in their window and what year that pick is.
I want to talk about a deal that I'm breaking to you guys that happened while we were recording this.
Okay.
I think
I know it, but go ahead.
A big upgrade for this team. That is center Myles Turner. Signing a 4-year, $107 million deal with the Milwaukee Bucks.
What? Ooh, I like that. He's like a better, more physical Brook Lopez.
Yeah, it's a huge Lopez replacement, who Lopez went to the Clippers yesterday. I mean, this is the exact type of player that the Bucks needed to get.
What's the year? 4 years, what?
4 years, $107 million.
That's not that bad for Myles Turner.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like what, $21.5 million a year?
Roughly. And there's an option in year 4.
Great. Yo, good for the Bucks.
Yeah.
So does that mean Giannis is staying?
I think it has to mean that. I mean, they're getting a piece that would convince Giannis to stay.
That's a pretty good deal for him, man. I thought he was going to get in the 30s, which I wouldn't have wanted to do, but at $21 million, give me Myles Turner all day.
That's great. Like, he did have a bit of a rough finals, but I think he slots into that Lopez role perfectly. The value of keeping Giannis in town is just...
We talk about when big men have rough finals or rough playoffs, it's usually because their play style doesn't work in the playoffs. But that's not the case with Turner. Turner just wasn't shooting well. Yeah, I think he's exactly what you needed to do to get younger with this team, to replace an old player with a younger player who does similar things, if not better. This is kind of an end of a major era for Indiana, though.
Yeah, he's been there since 2015. I think he's been there for 10 years.
It's just interesting, as soon as they lose Halliburton, the house of cards comes tumbling down.
Yeah.
Like immediately. Like this whole team, I talked about this previously, but I've never seen a window close in real time.
They might be in the play-in tournament. They might be a 7 seed next year.
I don't even think so. This team, without Halliburton, without Turner.
And TJ McConnell's only a star in the playoffs. Like, he's not going to do that during the regular season.
I mean, how high is this team's ceiling of the Pacers, who were in the finals last year? I mean, I don't think they're a lottery team, I think, next year at best. I mean, maybe even top 10, top 8 pick.
I think they're going to make the playoffs in the East still.
Yeah, it's the East.
We'll see, man. I mean, they'll be better than the Raptors. I'll say that. Atlanta's going to be better than them.
Now, I will say, I don't think this makes Bucks the favorite in the East. They still need more offense, to replace.
They need Dame to be old Dame.
Exactly. If they had Dame, this would be a great, amazing fit. Like, this would be the piece that they needed. But without Dame, I mean, they're still a little short.
There's still a hole for ball handling, I think, as well. They did bring back Kevin Porter Jr., so it's going to be a lot of that next year, I think.
They brought back Gary Trent, who's a very coveted piece in my NBA world.
Gary Trent, Taurean Prince, they also brought back. So the moves were pretty lackluster before this Turner signing, which is definitely huge. And I think all but guarantees Giannis will stay in Milwaukee. Like you guys said, I think there's still some holes in that team, but this kind of shows that people in the Eastern Conference, teams in the Eastern Conference, are willing to make some swings because of the nature of how weird next year is going to be with Tatum and Halliburton out.
You want to hear the other shoe to drop from this deal?
Yeah.
This is from Shams 34 seconds ago, so this is fresh.
Let's go.
The Milwaukee Bucks are waiving Damian Lillard.
Ooh.
Remaining $113 million on his contract in order to acquire Myles Turner.
Who goes and gets him?
What?
I mean, who knows? But yeah, the Dame era ending in Milwaukee before it really even began. I mean, 2 years, nothing really to show for it.
A fever dream.
It's funny that we had the full circle of the Drew trade ending. It just feels like the Drew Damian Lillard trade of it all has kind of settled back in to where it kind of didn't work for anyone.
Well, Celtics got a championship.
Well, yeah, the Celtics it worked out well for, but they were the other end of that trade.
Now Drew's back in Portland.
That's so weird. The ball's in the Pistons' court. Pistons need to make a move. I think they need to be a little aggressive here.